Welcome back, beautiful beings. This is, I think, the third video for Halloween journal number 4. Okay. I just wanted to show you on the inside when I turn this. This is hitting this, so I'm going to glue this part down and it won't bother the pocket at all. Okay. And then I'm going to pull this out and replace it with this. And I'm going to put some pockets with some scraps on the inside of the covers. So let's get this out of the way. Okay, I have this. This is from Park Lane. I got it at Joann's for $3.20. It was $9.99. Of course, I got it either last year or the year before. I'm not sure. But you get 4 of these each. Okay. Yep, 4. And I just wanted to show you the designs real quick, just in case you wanted to see them. There's pumpkin. There's a spider. That's what I'm using. Okay, and then there's a skull. And the glitter doesn't come off, which I love. Okay. And then you get some bats. Make sure I didn't miss anything. And you get a frog. Okay. Poisonous texture of toad potions. Okay. Does it say how many designs total? 6 designs. Okay. 4 each. Right. I want to show you that. Okay. So the one I have, I'm going to show you with my die cuts how I did this. I put this just like that. Okay. And then this part up here, I took this die cut, this die cut, and this die cut I had turned sideways so it's on the part that you tear off. Okay, I just wanted to show you how I did it. Okay, in case you were interested. Alright, here's the die cut. And I had to glue it down to a piece of junk mail, and I used Elena's glue. I just put it down and then swished it around with my finger so it would glue down because it's glossy on the other side, the inside of this. And I knew Mod Podge it might not stick down. And I went around the orange with this Memento clay, Potter's clay pen. And then I glued it down, and then I went around the edges because you could see the junk mail a little bit on the edges, so I just went around it with this art alternative dull tip. Okay, purple. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to, and the reason I did glue that down is because of these. This one was really flimsy, and I was afraid it'd break off because I'm going to put it on the top. Okay, so I'm going to sew that right up here. And I was afraid of all the tucking, these would break off. That's why I double glued it. I double cut it and then glued it to another piece, okay? And then I got these pieces. And then this piece we can use for something else. Where's my scissors? And I'm just going to cut the scrap piece off. And that. And we can use that in our little books. Okay. But first, I want to show you these. And here's that one. See the line right there? Where I had to do it because it wasn't big enough. Because I turned it the other way. We're going to cover it up. And I have all these little scraps. This one is the last of this, I think. I don't know. I colored it purple. I colored this purple too. So what I want to do is add a little white and black to this piece. I think I might cut this even more. I don't know. I want to glue that right here. I think. I'm trying to remember what I'm doing. Right, for sure, I got this piece and this piece for our little jar. Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to add some color to these on the back first. So I got Majestic Violet. I want to be in the middle so I can zoom in if needed. And I just got a makeup sponge from Dollar Tree. Comes in a case. Okay. And I just want to add some purple in there, just a little bit. And then we can leave some white. Because these are going to go in our little tear pocket that I cut out with a die cut that I added in the last video thing we made. Where's it at? Over here. Okay. That's where we're going to put these at. Then I have a dauber, just so I can make circles. And I have black. But I'm going to try to do the edge just for this little one. Just to add a little black. And I did draw a line through here and go on them with all Memento powder clay on this side, okay? I just wanted a little black to fill in the white somewhat. That's good enough. Okay, just have something, and then I can write on the back of these. I got a lot to cover in this video, beautiful beings. All right, now these two are going together. I think it's these two, yeah. So I'm going to wrap this around here like this. And then I'm just going to tie a knot. And it's done, beautiful beings. I hope everyone is well and good, as usual. Keeping your light shining, beautiful beings. I gotta pull that. And I might have to trim that. Let's pull this. I don't want to pull it too tight because it might rip. And then pull that. And we're just gonna snip. Whoa! And then we're just gonna snip these off like that, and that's done. Okay, so that can go right in here somewhere, right? Then we got these. I have string here. Let's get these out of the way. What was I thinking? I think I was thinking of cutting this. Yes. So we're going to cut this up just a little bit. So I have a piece of this for that tag. I think that's long enough. And then we're going to just, no. I think this, I don't remember what I was doing. I think we're going to mix these two together. No, I wanted that for on there. So I'm going to cut a piece of this. And I don't know if I can get it long enough. Cut a piece of this off. I colored this black. And I used all my distressed inks to do it. I have the ones that are in bottles. That's what I used to color these fabrics. Okay. And then I'm just going to take these two. Was it? No, I want that on that. These two. And we can use both of them, I think. Why not? Maybe we should color that one purple. That's what I wanted to do. I fed my cats right before I started this. And I have to watch Snickers because she's a piglet. She'll go and eat Kit Kats when she's done, even if Kit Kat's still eating. And I forgot to notice if she did that. But I just noticed they're both done eating, so I don't know. Hopefully Kit Kat got most of hers. And Snickers didn't steal it away. So I'm just doing this, and I'm going to tie a knot. And hopefully I leave the hole big enough to get it in there. But they're both coming out here, and I usually give them their wet canned food treat at 3. Right, what's going on here? I think that needs to go under there. At 3. But they always come out like an hour or 2, sometimes 2 hours before 3. wanting their treat, and it's like, really? And my cats are inside cats, so they act like dogs. I never had inside cats. My cats were always outside, and I just screwed that up. And I never experienced that before, where they come out and beg like a dog and meow until you give them their food. But I was just wondering, do your cats do that if you have cats? Do they come out and beg like dogs and meow? It's ridiculous. But I've had bad luck with animals, dogs, cats, everything. That's why I chose to make these cats inside cats. I need something to push this through. I'm having a hard time, beautiful beings. But yeah, that's why I chose to have them as inside cats, because something always happened to my outside cat animals. So that's why they're inside cats. Alright, beautiful beings. Holy moly. I think that one, yeah. Alright. It's different. Let's pull these. Can I pull that down? No. So I might have to trim them. That's what that one's going to look like. Okay, I'm going to trim that to there, and then that one to there. Let's clean up this mess. So that one's done. And we're just going to tuck it in there. Now this one, I'm going to, I just drew a line because of that. Okay, so this one, we're going to glue down this. And I'm going to take some off there. Just put that on there like that. We'll cut that off. When it's dry, I'll do the other side, and then I'm going to take the glue on my finger and just put that across. I don't know if it's enough. And then we're going to take this piece and put that on top of that. These are scraps, so this is a good way to use up your scraps, beautiful beings. And I'll trim that here. I'll just do that now. Okay, and then that can go in here. I'm just putting it there until it dries, okay? So there's that step I wanted to show you. Oh, wait, I gotta... Alright, I'm taking this out because I gotta flip this over and it's not dry. So we'll set that up there for now. Let's clean up this mess. Flip this open. Nope, flip it to the back. And I'm gonna sew that in. I'm going to show you. This is going to stick out a little bit, so I'm just doing this. Okay. I think it's that side. Okay, so I'm just doing that. The top, I'm going to make sure it's down, but this, we're going to just do that because it's going to stick out a little bit. Okay, beautiful beings. I couldn't stand that be plain, so I glued that down onto that. Okay. Stick that in there. It's nice and dry now. And then I have a card. And I went around this side and this side with orange. Okay. With these pens. And then this pen, I went around with purple on the other two sides. Okay. So I tuck that right in there. Like so. And then I have this, and I have two strings that are different color oranges. And we're going to stick that in there. And then I have this. And I think I'm going to put that in the main journal. Okay? But I'll put it in here for now. I don't know if it's going to cover everything, but that's pretty much what that looks like. Okay. Now I have a difficult one that I'm going to do, because I want to try it. This. But first, I want to do this. Where did I want this? No. I don't know if I want it up here. I might want it up here. But let's do this one first, because this is going to be difficult. I have this, and where's my lace? Where's my lace? Here it is, in case I need more. But I'm hoping this will be sturdy enough. Okay. This is cupcake wraps from Dollar Tree. Okay. Last year or the year before, I'm not sure, because again, they don't put the dates on stuff. And here it is by itself. But I think I'm gonna sew this on like this. And I want to put it like this. Doesn't it look really pretty? I want it. I'm determined to get it on there. And it might be delicate, but it'll be worth it. And I really don't want to put under any, like, glue the lace to anything, because then you can't see through it and it just takes away from it. But I'm leaving these on because they look like the gate to the cemetery. The sides where you attach it. Here, I'll show you. This is how it goes together. It's for cupcakes. But it goes together like that for a cupcake. Okay? Then you just set the cupcake inside of it. Okay? But that's not what I want to use it for. But if I can sew this, I think I'm going to sew this to this lace. And go like that. Okay? And then I'll have to, of course, trim this side. But I'm going to have that in more, and this one sticking out because of the bend. Okay? So I have to keep that in mind. So I'm going to go sew this right here and this right here. Okay? Okay, beautiful beings. I just thought I have to cut off pieces, so I might as well sew them on to themselves before. Okay? So I'm going to have to cut. And then it'll make it stiffer, I think. But I got to sew them before I sew this. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm just going to sway in and out. Then I'm going to cut this off. And then I'm going to sew these two pieces back here. So I'm probably going to have to change my thread. But I'm going to sew those two pieces on to support the back of these heads that don't fit completely. Okay, beautiful beings, I'm going to show you what I did. Those two pieces I cut off. Okay, they're right here. I sewed it, but they kind of went in. So I had to add another piece, okay? And this is going to go on like this, okay? So I'm going to take the cupcake holder and the lace and sew it right onto the cardstock of our journal signature here, behind that ghost, okay? So we're just going to round it like that. Then I'm going to sew this piece in like that. And then I'm going to sew this and this down. I just wanted you to see what I was doing so you didn't get confused. Okay? This and this down after I sew this piece in. I'm determined, beautiful beings. Okay, beautiful beings. In order to sew this down, I had to rip this up. Okay? Because here, it would have sewed it down. So all I did was take a black marker and go along here. Then I'm going to sew this down, and then we'll just put a fabric down here of some sort. Then I want to show you also, which is a pain in the butt for me. I see all these threads. I don't like just cutting them off. Okay. So what I usually do, I want them on the other side. I'll put you in the middle so I can zoom you in. I think you might be getting a shadow from that, but I'm going to show you what I do. I get my needle, and this is time consuming, and if you have an easier way, if you're sore, let me know. Instead of doing it this way, you take it and put it through so it goes on the other side. And then I have one more. Where's that? other one? This one. I thread it through the needle. And I did this. I do this on everything I sew if I don't tie it on the same side. And then you put it back through like this. Okay, so now they're all on this side. Okay, over here. And then I tie them together. Again, if you have an easier way to do this, please let me know. Because I've been doing this for years this way. And it is time consuming, especially like when I made those multiple pockets from cardstock scraps and using the coffee dyed paper. Because I had to do this to every single one of them. Okay, and then you just, like if you like this hanging, I always cut one shorter than the other. Let's have the purple longer and then the white one shorter. Okay, but if you don't want to, just cut them off, beautiful things. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go sew this on. Maybe I should just glue it. Let's glue it. We're going to glue it again. Okay. There's a little piece right there. I'm going to have to put glue under. And then put it down. Don't worry, we're going to totally save this pocket. Okay. And then put that there. And I wanted to warn you, when you use these, make sure you use it away from the fold, because if you don't, it's going to catch. It's going to hit this part, okay? So I just wanted to point that out. And I kind of want to put something down so it could be sewed down with it. I got this leftover thing. Let's just put that, I'll sew that right on top of it to cover that up, okay? That's the lace. This is different, but that's the lace I couldn't get in the last video. It wouldn't glue down because it's made out of polyester. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, beautiful beings, I conquered the lace and the cupcake holder. I think it's beautiful. Okay, I got this. I'll just tuck this behind it so you can see. Look at that. Belly band. Love it. I think it's adorable. I'll give you a real good close-up. And I'm just going to leave that hanging off the edge. Why not? Okay. I think it's beautiful. Tell me what you think, beautiful beings, in the comments. Okay, now I have these. These two items are from Floating Pocket with a Hidden Notebook. Okay, video I did. I'll put it in the description. And there's little notebooks in there. But I want to cover this part up. This inside. And you can put something on the staple if you want. Okay. But I want to cover them. I have this left over again from the journal. And I just need a little thin piece. So I'm going to cut a little thin piece out to put on there. Or maybe I'll put it on here, because I don't have two purple ones, because I want to put purple ones on them too. I'm just going to fray this real quick. Or should I put it down here? I'll put it down here. Okay. Then I have these two purple laces I colored. And I just need a small piece to cover that. Okay, beautiful beings, I'm just going to fast forward so the video stays under 30 minutes. Let me just put this piece that's drifting around behind it. We'll put it in with it. Like that. Somehow, beautiful beings. Okay. So basically all I'm doing is using the little scraps that are floating around on the table, trying to use them up and gluing them down to our glued down flap part of our flap. Our flip open. I'm tongue-tied. Beautiful beings. I hope you got that. Plus I got my head in the way a lot, so sorry about that. There we go. And then the sticker I'm just going to put some glitter glue on this so I don't make a mess with the glue. I just broke that. Great. See that? I just pulled the top off, so now it's going to dry up and I don't know what to put on it. It was already broke, but I just totally broke it. It was bent. I think I'm going to go around this with the purple Art Alternatives marker. I need to wash my hands. There. Home Sweet Haunted Home. I know it's really, really tiny, but there it is. Okay. Okay, beautiful beings. I'm going to end that video. I'm going to give you a close-up of this. Better one, where I can see that you can see. Okay. Then you flip up, and then it has that, and then your little hidden notebook right there. And then it's got a pocket over here, which would be great for this, I think. I'm just trying to make sure that this one don't get all bent up, so it's tucked nicely in there. Nice flat. Okay. That looks cute in there. I'm just going to put it right behind our little belly band for now. Okay. And then here's a close-up of this. Their little tags. And then I'm leaving that, so if they want to add their little something, they can. And I'm going to leave that in case they want to add their little something. But this, and you can make these thicker. I didn't make these thicker. I think that's only like 8 pieces of paper. But you can add more because it'll hold them in better. There's that fabric and that fabric. Okay, and then back here, lots of spots for pictures or just tucking stuff in. Okay, and I think this will look good right there. Okay. I just like leave room for them to do something in. Okay, I don't want to take up all the room. Plus, the pockets are basically for pictures to get them off your phone. Hint, hint, beautiful beings. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful everything.